Hello, this is Ali, the Perception Trainer, author of The Perception Diet, and today I want to answer a question that I have gotten a couple of times, and I think that it's really important that we talk about this subject together and that we give each other permission to be real. So the question is, Ali, how do you stay so positive all the time? And my answer is, I don't. Okay? I know that kind of looking at my social media and looking at my blog posts and my videos and all this stuff, it can very much seem like I am kind of like a ball of joy that's just like looking at the world as though it's magical all the time. And, okay, so the answer to this question is slightly more convoluted than a simple like, well, I'm all positive all the time, or I'm not positive all the time. So here's how I want to address this, okay? So the first things first is I am not at all a proponent of positive thinking or ignoring or invalidating or dismissing anything that I'm actually feeling in the moment. Okay? So this is the first things first. When I'm sad, I am sad. When I'm angry, I'm angry. When I'm hurt, I'm hurt. When I'm pissed off, I'm pissed off. When I'm grieving, I'm grieving. And so the first thing is that this idea of being positive all the time, meaning what most people think it means is that you're happy all the time. I am not that, and I don't aspire to be that, and I never will aspire to be that, because I fully and completely believe that all emotions are of value. And this is something that is a huge part of the work that I do with my one-on-one clients, with this channel, with my Instagram. This is a big part of my mission, is that I really want to help facilitate our world and our culture into a state of learning to be emotionally authentic, okay? And so this requires that we no longer fear or suppress or run away from or over dramatize or overindulge in either side of the coin our negative emotions. Okay? So part of my living my truth and my being authentic here to, practicing what I preach means that when I am in a negative emotional state, I am not ignoring myself. I am not trying to positive think my way out of it. I am not, telling myself things that I don't believe in order to get myself to just put on a happy face and smile and be good about things, okay? I am honest when I am upset about something. I am honest when I am resistance to life, because this is what it is, right? My negative emotions come to me because I am in resistance to something about myself or something about life, which is the same thing, okay? And so the only way for me and for everyone on the planet to learn from what their negative emotions are trying to tell them is first and foremost to acknowledge those negative emotions, okay? So my practices include things like journaling, things like letting myself cry, letting myself speak to a friend or my partner or my sister, to allow myself to process, right? But I do so in a way where I'm consciously choosing not to project my negative emotion onto someone else, and I don't always do that perfect, okay? My partner will tell you that, that I sometimes project my negative emotions, and I sometimes allow them to kind of run me rather than me running them, but this is a part of emotional mastery. It's a practice, right? That I'm allowing myself to explore my negative emotions, I allow myself to feel my negative emotions, I allow myself to express my negative emotions in the healthy confines of not puking them on someone else, not projecting them. So I'm not out there having road rage. I'm not out there yelling at the person at the cash register. I'm not out there, having a meltdown when things don't go my way, because I'm practicing emotional mastery. And a part of that is acknowledging the emotions that I'm feeling when I'm feeling them in a responsible way. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but it's a practice, okay? So that's the first thing. I'm not positive all the time. However, okay, so here's the but. Here's the part that I think is the most important part and the most helpful part, the most useful part. I am someone who fundamentally believes that absolutely everything that happens to me, happens in my life for a positive reason. Okay, so I'm not obsessed with being happy all the time. I don't have to like what life is giving me. This is the thing. But I consciously make the choice to perceive everything in my reality at some point, not always in the beginning, right? But at some point along the line, at some point down the journey, at some point down the emotional processing process, I see consciously and clearly how whatever it was that upset me, whatever it is that hurt me, whatever it is that harmed me, whatever it is that made me feel bad, was blessing me. Okay? How it was helping me to release and relax ideas that I have that don't serve me, how it was helping me to let go of patterns that don't serve me, how it was allowing me to let go of even just like perceptions and views of myself and views of the world that did not serve me. Okay? And this is the practice to end all practices. And I believe this. And to the point where I don't believe it. It just is, right? I've experienced it enough that I don't even need to use belief for this, okay? I don't, at this point in my life, in my experience, I don't believe that everything is working out for me. I know that everything is working out for me because I've seen it happen so much that every single thing on my life journey, from the very most painful, terrible, awful things that I wish would never have happened to me, to the most joyful, awesome, easy to love things. Everything that's ever happened to me has been for my greater good. Okay? I am the person that I am today because of everything. And I like the person who I am today. And I am capable of what I'm capable of because of everything that's happened to me. I am fully and completely in a place at this point, generally speaking, that I am in full and complete gratitude for everything that has happened to me. And I'm in a place now, after many years of practicing, where when confronting things happen to me, so emotionally upsetting things happen to me, even physical things, mental things, emotional things, someone's mean to me, someone gives me a negative comment, things happen with my family, hurtful things go on, I am no longer in a state where I am traumatized by life. I don't get traumatized by life, and I don't get into deep pits of despair and like deep pits of resistance to life anymore, only because I'm practiced at constantly flipping my perception to how is this serving me? How is this serving me? How is this serving me? How is this lifting me? How is this making my life better? How is this serving to get me to where I want to go? How is this helping me release something I don't need? How is this helping me to see something that I've been ignoring? How is this helping me? So everything in my life this is how I look at it. So like I say, in the moment, I might not like things. There are definitely days and times where things happen to me and I'm like, bleh, like why is that happening? Why are you acting like that? Why are you doing this? Why does it have to be like this? Why can't life be different? Blah, blah. I have that. I have those moments. And like I say, I allow myself to feel those things. It doesn't mean that I have to like reality all the time, okay? And I don't like reality all the time, but I'm getting closer, okay? This is the thing. However, because of that, because I'm not telling myself I'm not allowed to feel what I feel, I feel what I feel. I express it in a healthy way 99% of the time. And then I look for how it's serving me. I consciously look for how it's serving me. And I always find something. So whether or not I'm just totally crazy and I'm just making it up, right? Maybe life doesn't mean anything and life isn't trying to teach me anything and I'm not actually going anywhere and none of this is even real, but this is my experience of it. And I would so much rather have the experience that everything in life is serving me, so that every time anything happens to me, positive or negative, I can find something amazing about that and I can allow it to make me a stronger, healthier, happier, more contented person. I would much rather have that experience than believing that bad things can happen to me, or believing that, you know, there's good and bad, or believing that there's right and wrong, or believing in karma that is biting me in the ass, or any of these things that we all, as humans, can believe about life, okay? And then again, I will say, because of this mindset, because of this way of living, I allow myself to feel what I'm feeling. I express it in a way that's not projection 99% of the time. I try hard, right? And then I look for how it's serving me, how this is blessing me. What do I need to let go of? What do I need to release? What perception do I have that is being removed so that I can be freer? Every single time I have become freer. Everything that's happened to me has set me free on some level. Every terrible thing that's ever happened to me has set me free on some level. So, like for instance, when I went to New Zealand and I was, you know, I was alone and I had no friends and I was starving and I had bed bugs, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm the type of person that can sleep on an airplane, no problem. I can be in an uncomfortable physical situation and it's not that uncomfortable. I can be okay with it. And that's mostly because of what I've been through, right? So instead of resisting life and getting all upset about that happening and then trying to make sure that that never happens to me again, I was like, okay, how is this serving me? How is this blessing me? What can I let go of? What kind of attachments do I have here to physical comfort and friends and da-da-da-da that I think that I need to be happy, that I really don't actually need to be happy? And can I be happy without those things? And then because of that experience, now I can be happy without those things, which means I am less dependent on life being a specific way in order for me to be happy. So you can see how this kind of loops back around, that in a sense, I am moving towards being happier and happier and happier and happier, kind of positive all the time, right? But it's not a false positivity. It's not me making up shit until I believe myself or, you know, riling myself up. It's like I'm actually looking at reality and saying, how is this serving me? How is this helping me release things that I think that I need in order to be happy so that I can be happy without, right? So, which means I am not, like, I'm becoming less and less dependent on external circumstances in order to be happy, in order to be fulfilled, in order to be peaceful, in order to be positive. So you see how this works, right? So life is not about faking it. Don't fake positivity. That's not the point. Because it's not going to get you anywhere. Lying to yourself about what you're going through, lying to yourself about what you feel, suppressing negative emotions, that leads to cancer. That leads to sickness. That's not the point. That's not the answer. And that's not the thing. So our culture that's obsessed with positivity, that's overly obsessed with positive thinking, that's overly obsessed with what's going on, like trying to convince ourselves that we're in this place that we're not helpful. Feel what you feel responsibly. That's the first thing. Give yourself permission to feel what you feel and express it responsibly. And the second thing is look for the blessing. And you might not find it right away. And that's okay. You might have to be mad for a while. You might have to be sad for a while. You might have to get angry for a while. And eventually you're going to get sick of your own temper tantrum. You are. You're going to get sick of your own negative emotion. You're going to get sick of your own perceptions. And you're going to be like, I need a change. There has to be a different way to look at this. Okay? And in that, the magic is going to happen. So it's not about being positive all the time. But it's understanding that if you look for how everything is blessing you, the most awful things and the most amazing things, you will find that blessing. You will find the release and the relief of something that you thought you needed to be happy, that you actually don't. which means you could be more happy, more peaceful in more situations, until you eventually get to the place where anything that comes at you, you just automatically assume it is a blessing. You automatically can receive it and be in it and be one with your life, whatever the circumstances are, and you can be happy and you can be positive. And that's where I am coming to, right? Before, it used to be every little thing knocked me off my center, right? And now I have this huge, wide range of circumstances I can be in and be happy and be peaceful and be contented. And that's because of this practice. Not because I faked myself into a positive place, but because I genuinely looked for how life was serving me. So that's all you have to do. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I love hearing from you. Like, subscribe, follow, do all that great stuff. Find me on Facebook, Perception Trainers, Instagram, ally_Perception Trainers. Come join the Patreon group, and I will see you in the next video.